Hello and welcome to another Mr. Betabyte video, and this video is a little bit different insofar as we're looking at two Sony Walkmans. On the right here we've got a Sony WM-BF60, and this one I bought probably a couple of years ago now, just in case the one that we repaired in a previous video was no good. So basically I bought two and hoping to get one up and running and working well. As it so happens, the one we worked on in that previous video was actually really good. So we'll have a look at this one and see if we can get it going. Now this one is a Sony WM-33, and this is actually my personal stereo that I bought brand new back in about 1987, I think it was. It's had an awful lot of use. It's been very, very good. It saw me all through college and commuting to and from it. So it's had a lot of use and it's been great. But it does have problems, and yeah, we'll get that going as well. We have got the belts already. I ordered these some time ago, can't remember where, but no doubt we'll find out when we open the packets where they're from. And the WM-33 also needs headphone sockets, so we'll be swapping that out as well. Joining me again in this video is Iols.
Hello.
And he'll hopefully be doing the majority of the work. You can sit back and relax and watch the master at work.
I'm not a master.
Well, we'll see. It's all good stuff. You did really well on the last one.
Yes.
So yeah, without further ado, let's crack on. So let's start with the WM-33. The only reason I'm saying that is it's already in bits. So let's move the BF60. And you can see here, it's, like I say, it's in bits already. The graphic equalizer portion on the front, that actually goes through a slot here, the ribbon cable for it, and plugs in on the board here.
Apparently it came off.
Yeah, you just sort of lift this up and then you can unplug it, so it gives you easier access. Now this Walkman was the first to use an PCB with the mechanism built into the PCB. It's a bit of a cost-cutting exercise, but it also, I suppose, made it a little bit slimmer. Now I have actually put belts on this already, but these aren't the correct belts. They're just belts that I managed to find. They sort of fit, and they're not wonderful. So I've got a proper quality belt kit for this now. So yeah, we'll get some and get those swapped. So let's move the plastic bits out of the way. So here are the belts. It's Deck Tech. They do sell on eBay. They're not too expensive. I think this was about £5–6, but they're good belts, and that's what counts. It's worth paying that little bit extra for good belts. That way you don't get the potentially issues with wow and flutter, because the belt is not true. So yeah, let's get those changed. So Iols, if you want to come a bit closer. Yeah, let's take that belt off there.
Luckily this one hasn't gone
It hasn't gone gloopy. Oh, sorry. And that one as well. Super. So just looking at these belts, these are just cheap. They're in these multiple sets that you get from China. And you can already see, I mean, it's only 12 months since I put this belt on, and you already see it's deformed. This one's not so bad, but it's just, they're just not really up to the job. So the thing that slightly concerns me is these belts look the same, but maybe that is correct. So looking at these, I say they're the same. They're actually not. One is actually thinner, slightly thinner than the other. So I think the thinner one goes from here to here. So do you want to put that on?
How do you know which one to do first?
So that one needs to go on first. So that goes underneath that. So you can't really see where it goes, to be honest. But oh, that's it. Yeah, no, you got it. Needs to That's it, and then...
Oh, it's going.
No, it's cool. It will. It does seem a bit... Oh, no.
Works perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's looking all right. And then put this belt on.
Sorry if my hand was in the way.
No, that's cool. And it's a bit... Now, I think they go the other way, because can you see there's slack? When I'm moving that, it looks a bit slack.
Dun, dun,
So let's take this belt back off.
If it will.
It will. There we go. And then I actually got quite twisted. And do you want to put that one on there? That does make sense. It needs to drop down underneath. Whoop.
And we did the same for this one.
That's it. Lovely. This is actually a little bit mucky in there. Probably should have given it a clean, but that's fine. And just get rid of the twist. Whoops, nearly lost it. There, so the twist is out. And then that belt.
Which makes a little bit more sense.
I think so. It's interesting that the main drive belt is thinner, but there's more than likely a very good reason why that's the case. There we go. That was actually quite a fiddle, wasn't it, that one? But that's running well, and it's not twisted.
Hopefully.
Yeah, no, it's not twisted, that's cool.
Sorry if you couldn't see the belt, if my hand leaned away.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's all good. So, I'm just going with the top deck. The underneath's not too bad. I mean, there was a couple of little specks and dirts, but that's fine. I just want to get rid of some of this grease, which does have a habit of hardening with age, although it's quite warm up here today, so this gear here actually looks as if it's becoming brittle in its old age. You see the yellowing there. So yeah, that's not so encouraging, but it's fine for now.
Just wine. Gear and here wine.
Sorry?
Gear and here wine.
Oh yes, they do. Yes, gear in here rhymes. It's a good observation. So let's clean this off, and then, oh, look at that, that's really quite mucky. So I'm just using my nail to do this because it's less likely to contaminate it. I really want to be putting
contamination in it.
Yeah. Gosh, that was really mucky.
I hope it doesn't get more mucky.
It probably will over time. I don't know quite what. Yeah, it's just tape residue. The head's not that clean either, so let's clean that. So, a bit different to video recorders insofar as you can use a cotton wool bud or a Q-tip. There's some muck around there. Get that off. A little bit of grease on the PCB. Super. So that's lovely. Let's put a bit of grease on this. So where are the moving parts? So that bit there moves. Then we've got this here. So let's put some grease on these little bits. Some in there. get any on the belt. So that would just totally undo everything we've just done.
Not good.
It wouldn't be, would it? It'd be a little bit annoying. Okay. For some reason there was quite a bit of grease here. I don't know quite why that is. It could well be because of how this sits there. In fact, it probably is. So that's fine.
It's fixable.
Yeah, it's all good. That's the next job, in fact.
My favourite.
Yeah, you like your soldering, don't you? I'll smear a bit on there. I mean, it's one of those things as well. I mean, you put grease on and it attracts dust. In fact, you can see a hair's got in there now. It attracts dust, but on the other hand, it needs to have a bit of lubrication for it to be a smooth deck. So that's cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe the excess off that gear. But the silicone will help preserve the plastic. So
I have no idea what you just said.
cool. So what we're going to do next is we're going to replace the headphone sockets and have a brand new old stock one, which these are incredibly difficult to get hold of, partially because I think they're a common failure point on these decks, and they were used on a lot of different Walkmans. So what we need to do is we need to desolder that, and that.
How do you desolder? Solder?
With a soldering iron, and we're going to be using some solder mop. So basically, you melt the solder, and this mops it up. So just put your iron on.
It's like some sort of fabric.
Yeah, exactly what it is. Yeah, I couldn't put it better myself, especially when put camera in the way. Behave. You see, it's soaking up the solder. So the solder's going from the mop is going from a coppery colour to a silver colour as it's soaking up all the solder.
Like from copper to metal?
Well, it's copper to solder, so solder's tin and lead.
You use copper to solder?
Yeah. Well, copper's what you solder to.
How does the tin and lead get there?
That's the solder.
That's where you need to solder with?
Yeah, that's right. So the solder is what's joining one bit of copper to another.
And let the device or thing work?
That's right. Makes the electrical connection.
Make the thing work?
Yeah.
I like that word.
It's a good generic term.
No, it's not.
There we go. So that's off, and you can see it's pretty tarnished. I did actually give it a clean. I did try and resurrect it, but it's just too far gone. So
We need a new one.
a new one is...
How is it new if it's old?
So it's new old stock. So it's stock from in the day when these were being repaired. This has been sat on the shelf for years. So and then somebody's come across it and gone, "Oh, we can sell that," and that's what they do.
New old stock?
New old stock.
That won't stay.
If you can solder, yeah, don't do that too much because it'll reduce the temperature of the iron. And then if we can solder here, you need to get the iron a bit higher up so you're not touching anything else.
Like this?
Yeah, could do it being a bit higher up again, but it's fine. That's it. That's it, lovely.
That's stuck on.
Yeah, so you need to bring the iron so it's more like, do you remember how to hold an iron? Perfect. And just be aware, right, no, we've got to put solder on first, baby. There we go. And then there. Magic. So giving it a bit of a clean up, just removed any remaining bits and pieces that I found. I've put some deoxit in the tape selector. The volume control, I seem to remember, is actually fine, and I have actually cleaned that previously, so I'm going to leave that for now. So putting it back together.
We'll probably start testing.
Yeah, then we'll test it. So yeah. This is mine, so I'm not terribly fussed about it being in brilliant condition, and it has seen a lot of life, this machine. So this Walkman, so let's, whoops. Just press play to help get that in.
There's a second Walkman.
Oh, we won't forget.
How did that go in?
Stop. So I press play just to get the play button through, and then before I pressed it down, I press stop, and that should, a little bit of manoeuvring, go back in and push that bit of plastic back so the headphone socket can go in. And there we go. So that screening bit of copper there, the screens across the top here, that is screwed down onto the PCB there. So next thing, I'll just push that down. So next thing is the door. So the door feeds in through there. I might be doing this maybe not the best way, because the board actually gets slightly in the way. Okay, so how I got this through was just very slightly bending this back so it misses the PCB as you push it through. So we'll push this down. The metal of the top door sort of goes in there, and then we should be able to click this in, hopefully without breaking the plastic. The hinges are quite weak on these, and they do break, and so much so that I've actually repaired the hinge on this already, but I would not be surprised it breaks again. There we go, it didn't. The other problem is on the ribbon cable, the bits of metal are separating from the plastic backing, so you have to be really, really careful. Try not to break those off, and just keep your fingers crossed, basically, that you can get them back in without damaging them. And I can see them now trying to lift as I curve this round. I was actually reading that the predecessor to this, which is the WM-22, I believe, was actually a much tougher and actually had better quality audio than this. So, hasn't gone in properly. Right, well, I'm not convinced that's actually properly in, but we'll just have to see. I have a feeling that might not actually make be making very good contact in there, just because the ribbon is damaged. But we'll just have to see.
Can you place the weapons?
Possibly. I don't actually know if the other end is that easy to get to replace this. So that goes on there. You see that screw hole there? One of these case screws goes through there and through that and presses against it. So again, putting the back on. Just have to be a bit careful of the socket there. Put that on there. Let's put the screws in. Let's go for it and put the screws in. So let's put the screws in. Oh, that didn't sound very good. I do wonder how good this personal stereo is going to be. That one's going to be a bit stiff because it's cutting into the fresh plastic, so I expect that to be a bit difficult. And that goes there. Then that goes there. The other question I'm wondering, oh, we are missing another screw actually, somewhere. Don't know where that's gone. There's one there. So that's fine. We'll leave that for now. It's my personal stereo as well, so I'm not terribly worried. I can find one as we go along. Okay, so the hinge is broken. It's broken again. This is so common on these. These will break. Usually this end as well, because this is the longer bit of the plastic. So I just need to reglue that basically, but it's a shame. I had actually forgotten just how good these actually were. Insofar as you get a lot of motor noise with these, and I had forgotten that, but it's not bad. It's probably not the best track to be demonstrating because it's got wobble on it, but it is actually, there's no real wow and flutter. Tape speed seems good. Graphic equalizer is working, so you can hear maybe that it's having an effect on the sound. The volume control is a little bit crackly still, even though it's been cleaned. So I might keep an eye out for another one to replace it. It's probably just a little bit too far gone. Having said that, with use, it may well improve. But like I say, it's for me, so it doesn't really matter. It's just nice to have it working again. So with that, let's move on to the next one. So to get this apart, take out the two screws. Already taken one out. And then what somebody's done in the past, this has been got at, they've wedged a screwdriver in and tried to get it apart, which is not the way to go. So how you do it is ideally with a plectrum, although I'm going to use fingernails to get started. And I've managed to seal it back down. There we go. And this bit here is a bit tricky, but that comes apart and then just lift it up and it comes away. These just lift off. These are the buttons for the sliders, and yeah, that's how you do it. So yeah, no need to use brute force with a screwdriver. It's just being very careful. Take it from this corner and take it back, and just pushing back on these tabs with the plectrum. Okay, so after a lot of effort, I've managed to clean out all of the gunk, and this flywheel here This was actually fine. I could just peel the belts off, and it's not left any residue at all, just giving it a quick clean. This was also fine. There's a plastic groove there that the belt runs in. And then, but the motor itself, that was terrible. So, yeah, there's not a lot I could really do about that, other than give it a really good clean, which took seemingly forever. And again, this here is fine as well. So, time to put the belts on. And, oh, I say belts, it's one belt. So, I just wonder how this goes.
How will you fit it around the wall of those?
Yeah, I mean, that's it, isn't it? I guess the belt goes around there, around there, around there.
I'm guessing it goes around there, down.
Do you think down?
Yeah.
Yeah, BF60. Okay, so I've just got the manual for this, and it isn't actually that helpful in telling you where the belt goes, but it does look from the manual as if the belt goes around here, over this pulley, round this pulley, then back over this pulley to here. So we shall have a go at fitting those. Oh,
99%.
see, well,
one belt.
You want to have a go?
All we have.
So start from there.
Start from here.
Yeah. And then,
Oh,
do you want me to do it?
Yeah.
So I reckon it goes round there, around there, around there, and then up to here. I've got it terribly crossed, but so I reckon that's how it goes.
It seems to be working.
It's looking fairly good, isn't it?
Do like play the test if it works.
Yeah, I don't actually know if I'm turning it the right way. I think it maybe goes that way.
Either way it works.
Yeah, I mean it's not. Nothing's jamming. Yeah, do you want to press play? That one down there? Just press it. Yeah, that seems alright. Yeah. Super, so I think that's right.
So do I.
So I reckon, put it back together, we'll give it a test and see if it does work. Probably won't. I admire your optimism. So I ended up actually removing the board. I unsoldered the motor. And what was interesting about the motor actually was something weird has happened on the positive terminal for us. The wire itself, you can see the discoloration there, and when I desoldered it, it smelt a bit like cat urine, which is a bit odd, because there's nothing really around there. It's sort of away from batteries, and yeah, just really odd. So some sort of contamination in that area of the board, but I've cleaned it up fairly well, and we'll see. But I just can't work out what's happened there. So yeah, so the belt's on. I've untwisted it. It was a bit twisted. I've also greased the deck, and I have actually greased the flywheels as well. Although they do spin. Well, this one spins nice and freely. This one obviously doesn't so much because it's driving the auto reverse mechanism and gears and all the rest of it. So, and I think it's mid-cycle, so I haven't sort of bothered too much on that side of it. But it is greased. The shaft through for the capstan is greased, so that's good. So I suppose time to put it back together. So I'm just hoping I don't knock these wires off, but we should be okay. I've even cleaned the socket that links the radio board with the actual stereo itself. The leaf switches look good. Not really any contamination there, so that's good. And so, time to get it back together. So I just hope these are okay. I mean, it is a bit of a problem as this kit gets older. These get more and more fragile. Oh, that's going in fine. Make sure that seems to be doing something weird. Getting caught somewhere. There's a little bit of damage on it actually. Don't know whether that was something I did or just something over time, or yeah. You can see the plastic coming through on when the ribbons push through. So you need to see that and that there, and then slide this back, which is not that easy. So that's it, that's in. So you need to do the same for this one, which is actually underneath the board. Possibly should have done that one first. Might have been an idea. And I've got to remember to put that shield back on as well. Right, I think I'm going to have to undo this again. So this one first. And part of the reason I wasn't getting that in is because, unbeknown to me, that had actually gone back into the locked position. So same thing with this, push it in, keep your fingers crossed it doesn't break. So it is quite brittle. I wonder if maybe using something that will help keep it flat might help me feed it in. That's it, it's gone in. So that's now right the way up. In there, you probably can't see that, but it is there. That's it, that's in. Phew. So, put this one back in. Hopefully this will go in a bit easier now. Oh, it looks as if a bit's broken off that. Yeah, a bit's broken off. We'll just have to hope that it can get enough contact with the board to... Oh, it's still in there. So it just shows you really that these ribbons are just very problematic now. So I just wonder what will happen, because it's the edge one as well. It's probably really critical. So possibly if it's not going to make contact, it's not that front portion is not going to work at all. Because it'll either be a voltage or let's push this in. Or it'll be ground. That's it, that's clicked in. It's amazing really, because this is all just held together with one screw. So we've got the soldering iron on, so negative. I should put the solder down on the sticky belt. And again, this, I mean, I wouldn't sell this because it's just not, it's not the greatest unit in the world. I don't know what I'll do with it, to be honest, because I certainly have enough personal stereos. I'm doing that the wrong way round. I think these actually go this way round. I can't remember. That's the problem. So, because they sort of just popped out. Yeah, so that works. So they actually go the closed section at the top. So they just sort of sit in there. Which is quite good, I suppose. So on this, there's a little clip, and this clip actually needs to go. I don't know if you can see this. Needs to go the other side of this little bar here. It's really difficult to see. There's a bar there, and so push it in, and it sort of goes between basically the outer case and the metal sort of bar that goes across here, or end of the molding, metal molding basically. So yeah, that goes in there, and yeah, I think we're good to go. I think we're about ready to put the back on. It's actually fairly tidy. There's probably a way to press this together as well. There's an order to do it. I'm guessing it's probably from here. Clip this in and then press the rest down. And we put the single screw back in it. Stray hair getting in the way. I haven't cleaned it, as you might have noticed. Let's get that a quick clean. At all. I've just literally taken it apart, tried to fix it, and put it back together. So that needs to be done, but I'm not going to bother doing that for this video, because that's sort of, well, just one of those things, isn't it? I'm just going to give it a quick clean up now. We'll have a proper clean through, and the other thing I haven't done is clean the pinch rollers. So let's just do that now. I don't know how much use this has had. It doesn't look terribly heavily used, which is good. So I'm sure I need more work. I'm still not overly happy with that, but anyway. The battery's in. Seems okay. There is actually another screw to go in, but there was only one screw in it. So somebody's obviously had a go and just not bothered to put the other screw in. But anyway. It appears to be dead. Let's check all these switches are okay. Now, the thing that concerns me about that is, have I got the leaf switches in the right place. And I'm a bit worried about that, because if I haven't, I might have bent one. So let's take it apart again. Oh, that's not soldered. How did that soldering must have been terrible. It has been open before, definitely, because I can see where somebody stuck a blade of a screwdriver through the back of it. So it's sort of like, yeah, right, okay. Not bothered to really take much care taking it apart. Yeah, so we've got reel, and that seems to be, you can really see that it is working. So let's put tape in. So that seems good, so let's just press this shut. I can't believe I didn't notice the other screw roll. It's sort of a bit obvious, isn't it? But yeah, it's obviously been lost a long time ago, and it's a shame the belt clip's missing as well. So sadly, even though it works, insofar as the tape mechanism works and it's fine, now I can hear audio coming from the, well, I can hear hiss, a slight amount of hiss coming from the headphones. It looks like that where that ribbon's actually fractured, going into from the door here, door controls, that has actually made it, there's no audio at all, there's no radio, and there's no tape audio at all. So I would say that's broken. And well, I mean, sadly, that's it. That's game over. I may well try and maybe skim a little bit off that ribbon and to see if that will do it. But unfortunately, this deck is wrecked for now. What will probably end up happening with this? It has been pulled about a lot, and there's that suspect bit as well, which is fairly near to that ribbon, where something has happened. Some chemical, something's been there, and it's rotted that part of the board a little bit. So this will be used as a spares deck. I'll keep an eye out for maybe a cosmetically tidy one, and we'll make 1 out of 2. So that'll be a future video. So keep an eye out for that. So yeah, a bit of a shame. I mean, the deck itself seems really, really good, but it's just, yeah, been a little bit too abused. So, thank you very much for watching. Sorry it was a little bit of a funny video, this one, because obviously the WM-33 is pretty warm, bless it. It's had a lot of use. I mean, it was used for probably a couple of hours a day for about 5 years, if not more. So, yeah, that's pretty worn, and this one is pretty broken, really. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for a follow-up on this one, and see you in another video.